uh,
Yeah, it's for I'm new to this Zoom. This is probably my third Zoom show, and I'm
yeah.
new to it. It's kind of fun because you see, I got this computer thing that does my
Uh-huh.
makeup for me, and if
Yeah.
I move my face too fast, my lips are over here and my eyes are over there. But it's
Yeah.
fun.
I've never, this is the first time I've ever, I guess, Zoomed.
Uh-huh.
Uh, well, in outside of a car, but I never did a live feed in my life before I came here to the Capitol.
Well, see,
And
that's why I record because that way, because I have a dog and we have a construction going on across the street.
yeah,
And I'm like, I never know a cement truck is gonna come, so I have to just record, and then I put it all on, and then I like to put the extras on, like the
oh yeah,
credits at the end and stuff. And
nice. Yeah, I'm still learning all this stuff, and it's I'm so busy in other areas right now that getting the word out, getting the message out, getting
what?
letting the
Okay, what
people.
was it? What is the name of your cause? It was like I will not
I
comply.
will not comply, NM, and that's the
Okay,
Facebook page.
okay, good.
And that's what people can sign on to. They can see you know where the things that we're doing, the GoFundMe. I
Hmm.
do have legal costs coming up, so I did receive a citation for criminal trespass because I didn't obey a order to vacate the property. I didn't
Hmm.
know that you had to get a permit to exercise your First Amendment right.
You shouldn't
And
have
then I
to.
learned, well, when they said I had to have a permit and that my permit allows me to be here from dawn till dusk now. At first that we were here 24 hours a day. I
Hmm.
was staying here at the Capitol, sleeping overnight.
Hmm.
And they brought down a letter to vacate the property,
At the
which,
Capitol?
yeah, the people's property.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
on the I'm on the people's property. So in essence, they did violate my constitutional right to peacefully protest and have a redress of my grievances,
Hmm.
which is our grievances. This is not about me. It's not about COVID. It's not about masks. It's not about mandates. It's not about Republican or Democrat. If it was a Republican in office that violated his oath of office, I would be here because
Hmm.
it's a violation of our constitutional rights. uh, MLG, she closed churches, fined churches, closed gun stores, and fined gun stores. That's an
Find
express.
churches.
She fined churches, yes.
That
So
seems totally unconstitutional.
it is, and that's part of the reason why I'm here. And people are saying I actually had one of our, I don't know if he was part of the legislature or not, but he sits there and he goes, "But she opened them up." And I go, okay, so if I only throw you in slavery for 2 years but let you go, that's okay. That's not unconstitutional. If I only torture you for 5 hours but stop, that's okay. It's the
Hmm.
fact that she did it and that it was a prolonged period of time. That's the violation. And
Yes.
she took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. And that's what we're holding her to, which brings up the bond issue. Uh, Article 22, Section 19 states that at the finalization by the president of the election, elected officials, all but the legislature, must place their surety fealty bond.
Hmm.
And that's their skin in the game. That's a $1 million fine to
Wow.
them. Well, in 1975, the legislature went around the Constitution stating that a general bond would do.
Right.
So now, if we sue her for violations and we win, we still lose because that general bond comes out of our taxpayer money.
Hmm.
So that's not right.
That's not right. It's
And
like a catch-22. You can't win for losing.
right. So it's that's and the corruption, and everyone knows. I mean, they talk about it on the street. Oh yeah, this corruption's been going on for decades. Right. Why hasn't anything been done about it?
Exactly.
Why hasn't anyone stood up and said, hey, you know what, this ain't right? And as I've been up here, there's just more and more corruption all the time. I mean, people are now coming forward to me anonymously going, yeah, did you know about this? Did you know about that? Like our Secretary of Highways, not requiring 3 bids for
Mhm.
a road repair job. And it turns out her cousin ended up with the contract. The
Surprise,
only bid.
surprise.
And so it's just more nepotism, more just the same thing. It just continues on and on and on. And it's got to stop. We need, people in office that are truly there to serve the people, because that's what they're supposed to be. The roundhouse here is the people inside are temporary occupants,
Mhm.
and they should, realize as such,
Right.
that they realize that they're there at the behest of us
Mhm.
to do what's right for the people. And until the people stand up and say, no, you can't do that, they will just continue on.
Well, it's good Americans like you that will keep this country going. I mean, this is really important that people stand up and say this is not acceptable. This is unacceptable. The corruption that we're seeing. I'm thankful that we have the president we have right now, who now I didn't know how bad it was. I really didn't know it was. I knew it was
Yeah,
bad. I knew there was a certain amount of corruption, but I didn't realize how bad. I mean, I lived in California,
exactly.
and it was like, oh, I didn't know that the Browns and the Newsoms and all of them are related. They're like a crime family.
Oh yeah, no, we have gentlemen. I have a gentleman here from California, and he's traveling each state to the capitals to just see what's going on. I think he's actually looking for a place to move because he
Mhm.
is from California. But it's like he found out what I was doing here, and he's going, more people need to do this.
Yeah.
We need to do this in California. I mean, you've got Governor Newsom. He just got gifted a $3.7 million, estate. You know, uh,
Yeah.
you know
Well, he's corrupt to
that
the core,
is.
that guy. I mean, he's corrupt to the core. I
Oh
had no
yeah,
idea while I was there. Do you know, I used to, when I was a housewife in California, I used to answer all sorts of polls. And then I moved back to Texas, where I'm
yeah,
from. And I finally got 2 people
yeah.
calling me for a poll, and they both mysteriously got
Uh
cut
huh.
off in the middle of the poll because I'm a conservative. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm a misbehaving Black person, according to them. So, it's really sad. But I'm like, oh, got cut off. I tried to call him back, couldn't go through. I'm like, oh, surprise, surprise. You know, I don't
Oh
believe
no.
polls.
Yeah. We've experienced all. We actually they filmed when I got my citation.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, somebody posted it, and they actually posted. The Facebook actually said that this is a false. This is false, and it's like, oh, so can I use that in court and just tell the judge that, well, Facebook says this never happened?
Well,
You
I
know,
think Facebook gave me my own special personal uh, person to tell me everything I say is wrong, because what do you call it, fact
yeah,
checker? I guess, I mean, that person's on duty
yeah,
all the time. I mean, they've even
yeah,
like fact
yeah.
checked memes that are meant to be a joke.
Oh, man.
And that's like crazy. It's
Yeah.
like it was a
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
Did you get the joke? Hi.
Yeah. In fact, I've been all over BLM's Facebook and websites, Antifa's, and I'm trying to figure out, why are you against me? I'm here fighting for your right to protest, peacefully
Mhm.
protest. So I don't understand why you're coming after me. Um, and because of the situation up here, and the citation and stuff, I have chosen not to use my Second Amendment right of
Mhm.
open carry, uh, even though we've had actual threats, physical harm threats.
Mhm.
I'm here unarmed. Uh, if you've got a problem with me, come up and talk to me.
Yeah.
But we have people coming up and yelling, and they're not willing to talk. If you don't know
Well,
why
that
I'm
that
here,
dude that got shot in Austin, I live north of Austin, and that dude
yeah,
was carrying an AK-47 in Texas. I mean, that's like crazy. So,
yeah,
you walk up to a
right,
car and you got a bunch of people charging a car, and that person feels threatened. You're crazy. But I think
yeah,
that's what they want. They want the wild, wild west, but they're not prepared for the wild, wild west we got for them in Texas. They are not prepared. They don't even know. They don't have a clue.
yeah. Aren't they trying to do a Occupy Austin?
Oh yeah, they've tried that several
I thought.
times. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That won't work for them because that won't work. I can tell
right.
you why.
It's not.
I can tell you exactly why.
Go
Because
ahead.
okay, me and my husband, we're both NRA and we're trained and we know how to use our pistols and other things. So, but the thing is, it's funny is that when you get old like us, I mean, I'm 58, my husband's 60. Well, he's gonna be 70 in December. Anyways, do you think old people are
Yeah.
gonna want to duke it out with one of these young punks? No, they're stronger than us and probably faster than us. We're just pow pow. It's over. That's a stupid move. They
Yeah.
don't even think things further than 2 weeks
Well,
from now.
yeah. There comes. How does it go? There's a. There comes a point in everybody's life when they're too old to bust knuckles, but they'll start busting caps. You know,
Exactly.
it's. I'm gonna. My birthday is actually on the 23rd of this month,
Hmm.
and I'm not really thrilled about the idea of having my birthday here at the Capitol, but I'll be turning 60. So
Cool.
it's interesting times we live in.
Yeah, I feel sorry for our grandkids. Let's hope we can leave them something better than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I'm here. You know, I've got a son. He's 22 years old. He's going to be starting his family soon. I've got nieces and nephews, and it's what kind of country are we leaving? You know, the future
Hi,
generation.
is your mic on?
It's oh yeah.
Linda Rivera. There you are.
Oh,
Hi, I can't hear you. Are you?
I'm here. Yes, I was texting back and forth with Audrey too because she's trying to get her audio to work.
Oh, okay. I see. I see her picture here. Oh, don't you look beautiful this morning?
Thank you. I'm like I was bawling this morning watching Tim Ballard's videos.
oh,
So
Aw.
I was trying to get ready. It's like having coffee, watching his videos and bawling.
Aw. See, that's the thing. I'm a crier too, and so
Yeah.
some things I cannot do. Like I have
Well,
a good friend.
it's because it's what he's doing with the sex trafficking, you know,
Oh
and he's the founder of Operation Underground Railroad. So,
yes.
you know, they're saving hundreds of children from sex trafficking, and he just shares stories. And he and his wife adopted 2 Haitian children. When he was
Oh.
undercover, pretending that he was there to buy a child, he said there was a couple of dozen children to choose from, and you know, so he and his wife ended up adopting 2 of them. They saved all those children from child trafficking. And then, so of course I was bawling this morning. I'm like, why am I doing this right before I'm about to do it?
Well, it's got to be done. Somebody's got to say something and keep. I didn't know that this was so prevalent really until like this year. I didn't
Right.
know that it
A
was.
lot of people do. And New Mexico is one of the hotspots for trafficking. You know, we have the border
yeah.
right there. We spoke about this yesterday. We have Zorro Ranch, and many people never even knew, including myself, that Jeffrey Epstein had a ranch in by Santa Fe, New Mexico, called Zorro Ranch. And you know, so there's a lot going on, and we
There's
speak on
child
a lot of
trafficking
that.
there.
Absolutely, there is.
Oh, oh,
Absolutely, there is.
yeah. We have the I-10 and the I-25. Those are major corridors. The I-10 runs coast to coast, and the I-25 runs border to border. So yeah, it's major. You know, if someone wants to come down here, we can take them down to the border and show you the holding pits, the rape trees.
It
So,
makes you wonder who. I mean, for me, when I first heard about it, I saw a couple of movies. There were some Christian movies I found on TV, you know, that they were talking about. I'm like, who thinks like that? Who who who
yeah.
thinks like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember I feel like I had a really good childhood, you know, and I remember I believed in Santa Claus completely until I was 12 years old. Completely. It was not for me. I just couldn't. I practically thought I heard like the reindeer landing on our roof, and I'm wondering, we don't have a fireplace. How is he going to get in with my presents? But I'm thinking, as children, that's all you should be thinking about. You
Yes.
shouldn't have to be
Right.
worried about that, and that's just terrible.
Yes. So she's here. She couldn't hear us, Audrey.
Oh, there. Hi. I can't hear you yet.
Yeah, I just told her to hit her.
Unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
There she is.
Okay, cool.
Welcome. This is Kathy of kathysright.com, because I'm always right. Hey, my
All
husband
this
used to say, you're always
technology.
right, you're always right. And so I decided to call my show kathysright.com because I usually am. I might be mistaken, but I'm never wrong.
Right.
I was wrong, but I was right.
Well,
So,
you know,
Stephen,
you try to do what's right, you
sound a
try to
little
think
bit-
what's right. But you know what? I'm finding that since I started this, I started with my blog. And since I started that, and it was kind of cocky to say Kathy's right, I found out I really am. I'm right almost. It's just the thing is, because I being a person that was expected to be a Democrat, you know, because I was remember being in 5th grade arguing with grown-ups about politics. I was always arguing with people about politics, and it was because I was surrounded by Democrats, which to me was like stupid. I'm like, how can you stay stupid? So and I'm sorry, use that word, but I kind of have that kind of language. And so I warned my priest, you know, at church, because I said, I do have this show and I talk about the Holy Spirit, but I also say the word bullshit sometimes. So that's just who I am. But he says, Kathy, everybody has a different way of expressing themselves. I'm like, thank you. So tell me about Tell me about the okay, you are involved, New Mexico. That is about New Mexico specifically, or?
It is. It's about New Mexico specifically. It's like the Lexit movement. New Mexico stands for New Mexicans exiting the Democratic Party, because we've been democratically held for 100 years. I think we're the only state that literally in this country left that has been democratically held this long without having any type of Republican platforms, except, I mean, we had the government, but I mean, all the way across where we could actually make some, you know, where we're considered a red state. We've always been considered a blue state. And we're last. We're number 50 in education. We're number 45. I mean, we are number 50 in child well-being. We're last. We are a state. We are the forgotten state. I share with many people that when I moved to the Northeast Coast with my husband, he's from Connecticut. And when I was, you know, meeting a lot of people, when I started working out there, I can't tell you the countless people that had told me, whether it was somebody I was working with over the phone or just somebody that I had met face to face, that they thought my English was really well for being from there.
Oh, I get that sometimes too.
I know. You're from New Mexico. Wow, you speak really good English.
Oh my gosh! Like you're supposed to not speak English. I mean, you know,
they have no clue. They have no clue.
I think we're still in Mexico, which is
they
sad.
have no clue that New Mexico is a part of America. So we are the forgotten state. We are the forgotten state. Much less people have no idea about the politics or the economic problems that we're having, the violent crime issues. We're top 2 in violent crime. I mean, when our president is sending the federal government agents into Albuquerque along with Chicago, people are messaging me and saying, wow, I had no clue Albuquerque was that bad. And it's like, really, we're not top 2 in violent crime for no reason.
Wow.
We're number 1.
Well, what do you think? I mean, is it because of the border? Is it because of? Yeah.
Well, it's both. It's a matter of the border being wide open, and the fact that those that have ran our country have locked arms or have, you know, some sort of favors, and they're, you know, the cartels that run in and out of our country, especially in and out of our state. Audrey shared, you know, even with my husband, that we have 300 gangs alone in Albuquerque, just Albuquerque, 300 gangs. Okay.
So
I wrote one of my blogs. It's called the leaking sieve, which I was talking about the borders, you know, and how the M13 gangs,
MS-13.
yeah, how they're
Yeah.
coming in, and how I get such blowback from Democrats about the border, and all they want to talk about is kids in cages. I'm like, kidding? I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because I mean, one, if I have a friend who happens to work for ICE, and she says that they've been doing DNA testing on these kids for a long time, and quite often they do not match the DNA of the people that proclaim themselves to be the parents of these kids. They are trafficked and sometimes recycled, you know, sent back to come back with another group of people.
So,
Men.
well, what we're discovering with under Tim Ballard and what he's doing with Operation Underground Railroad, you know, there's one little girl. I mean, the children could be in Colombia, in LA, and in London, all in the same week. Okay. Where that's how they're trafficked, and they're brought through that southern border. And so I get really angry when people try to come at me about the border wall, because and watching our state deteriorate with meth. You know, we're known as New Mexico. We're known as the state capital of meth, amphetamines, and the people that we watch, that we love, and we have to watch them turn into zombies
and die.
Far too many, okay? And we far too many, and they don't know what it's done to our communities, to those that we care and those that we love that are lost, and you know, the crime, the murder, and everything that comes with that drug that comes through that border. I mean, it's endless.
I
and
know.
all people
one of my children got into that, and it was really horrible. And I became a prayer warrior when that happened. She's completely over that now. But, you know, at the time I was thinking, you know, the people who sell this stuff should do life in prison, not 7 or 8 years, life, because they destroy how many families when they sell that stuff. How many families went through what we went through, which was hell on earth.
Well, we had a fentanyl that came across the border that they captured, and that fentanyl killed over 1 million Americans. You know, it's rampant. MS-13 actually has a permanent observation post in Southwest Arizona that they sit in, and they're used as a lookout for border patrol. And they
kind of hard to hear.
You're breaking up your sound.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, they have a permanent observation post in Southwest Arizona or Southwest New Mexico that they sit up there and report.
It's still really bad.
Yeah. It's staticky. It might be the reception.
Right. I've got full bars. I don't understand why I'd be breaking up unless we're getting censored again.
Well, that can be that happens. Sort of like whenever they try to do a poll and call my house, it always seems to cut off. It almost like miraculous. Like I'm in the middle of telling them, oh yeah, I like our governor. He doesn't do everything perfectly, but he's a Republican, and and then gone. They're gone. They're into that. They're very corrupt, and we didn't know how bad they were until now. And I think that's why you and I, all of us, are more fervent. And I think it's made me stronger, because when I lived in California, I started to feel really weak because I didn't participate in anything political. I was raising kids, and I wasn't, but I felt like I was muffled because I was surrounded by so many liberals. And I was criticized for having leather. People that are around me were defined by what they don't eat. I don't eat things that have faces. I don't eat. I'm like, serious? I mean, I'm from Texas. I love steak. I love barbecue. I eat all kinds of vegetables. The only thing I don't like is octopus. I don't like that. Yeah. Other than that, I eat everything. But it's so funny to me that when I left California, it was like we left skid marks in our driveway getting the heck out of there. Because things that shouldn't have been normal were starting to seem normal to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as
Right.
far as behavior and morals. And it's just, if I told you all of it, it would take hours. But
Right.
it was just when your friends are coming over bragging about their affair, and then I'm
Yeah.
supposed to say, "Oh, well, good for you." I'm like, no, it's not good for you. It's not good for your kids. It's not good for your husband. So when you say that, and then you call them on it, and then they say something's wrong with me because they're doing something, it was just getting really, just everything was upside down. And I lived in a nice neighborhood.
Well,
And
and that's
every
the
one
thing
of my
about California.
friends that
A
stayed
lot
there,
of
all of us
people are
left.
leaving.
But the ones
Yeah,
that stayed there are all divorced now. Every single one.
that's not cool. Yeah, that's crazy. But you know, we're having. I was watching the video earlier of what the governor, you know, how she actually speaks to the citizens of New Mexico, and it is horrific. It is horrific. You know, oh, you know, when you go to the gym, you will wear a mask. That's how she speaks to people. You better
You
be, and you
will
will
wear a
be.
mask like that? Oh, I don't
Right,
think I would
Audrey,
be, I would last long in New
Mm.
Mexico.
that's how she talks. No, but seriously, huh, Audrey? That's how she talks to people. You
Absolutely.
will
She,
wear
you
the
know,
mask.
she basically tells us that she wants us to start, if she had her chance, she would like to have us all wearing bracelets to track us.
Contact
Because
tracing.
she wants
No.
everybody, she wants to know where everybody's at. She says on the last
See, this is why
thing that
Democrats
she
make me
said.
cuss. Democrats make me want to cuss because this is crazy. You don't tell me what to do. I'll wear a
Well,
mask.
she says that she's watching us at the airports going on vacation, that she has people watching us on the Facebook. You know, this has gone creepy weird, you know,
You
and
guys
it's
have
just
to
like,
make people aware. I mean, we need to have this on all bands on all the shows because everybody doesn't. When you're in Texas, you think about Texas. When you're in California, you think about California. But people need to know what's happening in each of these states because this affects us all. And you don't
It does.
treat people like that.
and
No.
the problem with this is that, you know, during the Bush era, the Patriot Act was enacted during 9/11.
Mhm.
And that allowed all this stuff to happen. So it's still enacted. And I wish that President Trump would take it out, because that's where we opened up ourselves to be able to be spied upon, you know, the citizens. We never were able, they were never able allowed or to do this before.
Yeah, like
Right.
listening to our phone conversations.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're just watching that video, and she says, "And where are you going? Where do you think you're going?" She says, "You're going on vacation. You're going to go see your family. I'm watching you. I'm watching where you're going." And she says, and as a matter of fact, you know, she's telling the hoteliers not to allow people from out of
Yep.
state to stay at their hotel.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what she's telling them. She goes, and as a matter of fact, I'm even thinking of
Right.
What
limiting.
happens if they go against this? What happens to them?
Well, she's not going to know, and nothing's going to know. She's encouraging them
Right.
to let her know. She's encouraging them to actually either push people away from staying at their hotel, or she's asking them to tell them that they need to quarantine for 14 days. When does a governor try to force a owner of a hotel to tell people what they need to be doing with their hotel?
No,
Where they-
I don't see where she has the right to do that. I mean,
It's
Not only that, she's telling the government officials and herself, they don't have to quarantine when they leave our state.
Yes.
So the rules are not applying evenly across.
so they're not reciprocal. It's just what she
Right.
wants.
Right. Right.
Wow.
So this is what Mr. Garrett's doing there, because
This is why I'm not a feminist. I'm a Cathyist. I'm not a feminist because they do that kind of stuff. That's what's happening. I'm reading this book. Oh gosh, I wish I had it right here. It's a really good book. It's like really. It's called the. Sounds horrible, but it's called the Anti-Mary. But what it really is, it's talking about toxic femininity, and talking about how evil came into the world through Eve, and then goodness came through the world through Mary and Jesus, and then the lady, her name is I think Marie Guess. She wrote it, and she's saying she thinks that the Antichrist is actually the feminist movement, and she pretty much proves it in her book, and it's so awesome. I'm like, oh my gosh, she is a powerful writer. And you
That's
can only read
awesome.
2 or 3 pages at a time because it's so it's like you have to take it in like, oh wow. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Kathyist.
So,
You should be a Kathyist too. Everybody should be.
right. But, that's what Mr. Garrett is doing. And he's out there every single day. He locks the doors to the Capitol at the Roundhouse
Good for
and
you.
from the outside in. And he's going to do this daily until the DOJ and, Washington, D.C. gets involved.
Well, they
Because
need
this
to
is
get involved, and that's why we
crazy.
need to make this known. Because
Yes,
I mean,
it's
like I
crazy.
didn't know much about New Mexico. Like when I saw your show, I'm like, I have to go look it up. Where is New Mexico? I'm like, and then I really did.
Yeah.
People should, I don't know. People don't even know the globe, so I guess they don't know the United States either. So
Yeah. So this is what New Mexico is really the grassroots movement that the platform for is because we're just trying to get the fact that New Mexico exists in this country
Mhm.
out there so that people know that we are a part of the United States, so that people
are
understand.
there many Mexican Americans or Hispanic Americans in New Mexico who are Republican or on the right or conservative? Because all of my Mexican
Absolutely.
friends are conservative. I don't know where these liberals came from because all of my Mexican friends are conservative. So I don't
Well,
understand.
we're waking up that we've always been conservative. Hispanics, Latinos, we have very conservative values.
Yeah.
We just were so lost and didn't understand that, that the Republican values are very, that's what is similar to ours. So we're starting to wake up about all of this, and we're educating more and more to wake up. But
I think that that's something that's in the Black community as well. We're just waking up. I've always been awake though. My dad was very conservative, but yeah, I always had a lot of pushback. I've been called so many names you have no idea. My people have threatened my jobs. I'm not kidding. These people are the Democrats no longer just want to hurt your feelings; they want to destroy you.
yes,
I
absolutely.
have people come into my shop and tell me, I won't do business with you because you're a conservative. And I'm like, you need my services. Why wouldn't you? I'm not, my services aren't biased. I don't censor anyone's speech. I have people that are on my I will not comply NM Facebook page, and that are, well, they call them trolls, but actually they help gain more support for me by hyping up on the page, and they try to change the subject. They try to make it about something else. I keep telling them that's not what this is about. This is holding our elected officials accountable for their actions.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to hold them accountable. May as well be
Somebody,
you. May as well be
yeah.
me.
I mean, we have to, and that's what, a lot of people are scared to speak out in this country, and that's the problem, is that many people are too afraid to talk. I literally, when they say I have to come out of the closet
Yes.
from being a Trump supporter,
Yes.
that's sad. We
That's
have
very
to be
sad.
afraid to be a proud American, because that's what this president stands for, is just being a patriotic, proud American. The fact that Americans now need to be afraid of that is a very scary place to be in this country.
Yeah, but we're the brave ones. I've heard people, white liberals generally, who'll say things like, well, Kathy, where are the Black leaders? I'm like, there are no Black leaders. I mean, we didn't elect anybody to be a Black leader. You know what? If you're over 40, you're a leader. All
Yeah.
4 of us are leaders because we're
Mhm.
opening our mouths and we're saying what's right, because there's too many people that are afraid. And see, for
Right.
me, we're retired. We're on a fixed income. I'm not going to lose anything when I speak freely. But I have friends who have businesses who will not go on Facebook or speak loudly about what they believe in, because they will lose half of their business. And that
Mhm.
is the state of America right now. That is how the Democrats have got us trained, and I am done with that. So that's why
Yes,
we have to speak
absolutely.
loudly.
Right. So we just want to thank you, because like I said, Mr. Garrett is he's going to be there. He's going to be there
How can I
until.
help you, Mr. Garrett?
Just get the word out. That's the thing. More people that know about this. I'm asking people because I do have support from out of state. If you've got a representative that is a constitutionalist like Ted Cruz, you know, reach out to him. If you're in his district, sit there and you have the right to go up and ask him, you know, hey, why hasn't, you know, our elected officials paid attention to what's going on in New Mexico? Here's a guy standing up, but it's not about me. You know, that's one thing. I'm not a politician. I'm not running for office. I'm not that type of person. I'm just a person that said, you know, I kept on waiting for someone else to step up, and I'm going, you know, I'll stand beside you. And then I realized I'm a person, you know, and if not me, who? And if not now, when? So I took note, and I'm going to uphold that oath.
Well, God bless you. I want you to send me your a website or something I could put on my credits so that people can contact you or help you in some way. If you have if it's just a Facebook page or anything.
Right. Yeah, I'll send that to you. I will not comply and am on Facebook.
Okay.
You'll see a little symbol on there. The second.
I don't know, Mr. Garrett. I mean, if I put it on Facebook, they take it down right away because I'm so special on Facebook that they cover most of my posts. I'm like, these people are working overtime.
Yeah, they actually, the fact checker said that my citation, the live video of my citation was false information. So
yeah.
I'm hoping to be able to use that in court with the judge going, well, Facebook said it didn't happen. So, you know.
That's exactly what they do. I mean, they must be 12 years old, whoever's doing these things. I mean, and how much do they get paid and what are their qualifications? I want to be a fact checker. I want to find out what's the qualifications to be a Facebook fact checker, independent fact checker.
Independent one.
Right.
If you go into your settings, also you can take out those fact checkers and block them. I do that.
I did that like last year. I should do it again.
Oh, you have to do it every day. I get like 50 of them on every day. I go in there and I haven't been put in Facebook jail, so
yeah,
it's a good way to keep them off track, at least, especially if you have a lot of people following you.
Well, you know, one thing that I've stopped doing, which is sad, is I stopped being in parts of groups that you discuss with liberals. Because I used to think, you know, I think everybody should have free speech, and I used to think that if we had discussions, that would make us a better country. But it turns out that they would attack me in other ways. I used to work at KHOU in Houston, a TV station. They called my old job 30 years ago. I worked at KHOU. To tattle on me, to tell them that I was. Can you? None of the people that worked there were there when I was there, but that's how far they went.
Unreal.
People are crazy. I'm like, serious?
I think that's exactly where we get put in Facebook jails, because a lot of these liberals, they want to just cause trouble, and that's where that term Karen comes from.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
I have a friend named Karen, and she's still a liberal. God bless her.
I think all these Karens are really upset with the name.
I think so too. I mean, but yeah, I do have friends that every time you go somewhere, I want to talk to the manager. They're never happy with what they get. And I think the people who are doing all the rioting and protesting, they never went through anything. They never sat in the back of a bus. I mean, all they're worried about, they've not gone through anything. And like this lady I had on my show the other day, she wrote the book The Scapegoat. She's actually gone through Jim Crow and stuff, and she's not angry like these people are who are destroying everything. So they're spoiled brats. I really am done with them. I think they should bring in the paddy wagons like they did in the old days and put them in there and just haul them off. And I don't think they should put them in an air-conditioned prison. I think they should take them out in the desert. And
just like in Texas, or not Texas, Arizona.
Yeah, we got all that desert land. Let them suffer. I mean, that they don't know what suffering is, and they're complaining and tearing everything down. And I'm about building stuff. And I want to come to New Mexico. I want to come and visit there now. But now I'm kind of scared after.
Well, you know,
Another another industry that just got hit under her mandate is the outfitters, the hunting outfitters. The
Huh?
people coming in to hunt in this state
Oh, to
will
Yeah,
have
hunt.
to
it's still,
quarantine for
it's
14
hard to hear
days
you,
before
Mr. Garrett. You're breaking up
and
every other
it
word.
must be the connection. It really must be the connection. But I don't know if you can hear me now or I'm still breaking up.
It's a little
But
Have him
crackly.
log out and then log back in, maybe.
Yeah,
I
because
give
it's
it a
every
couple
time you
hours.
talk,
It's
it's
also
like,
I'm down to about 4% on my phone.
I know,
Because
I know. We gotta go, but I'm so thankful to have you. We should do another show. That'd be
absolutely.
fun.
I'd be more than happy to do so.
Well, definitely. I need your contact information, and we can get some things out in the world and let people know there is another state
Yep.
called New Mexico.
Exactly.
You know, half of the kids don't know how to use a regular clock, so it's going to be hard for them to figure out that there's another state.
Complete power. I'll definitely send you my information,
Please.
and we'll do this again.
Yes, and also I have a website called Kathy's Right at gmail.com. That's another of my
I will.
email accounts, and that's where I don't get that many. I ask for people to give me suggestions on something I could do my show about, you know, on that, because I want to. I've got a loud mouth, and I'm going to use it for good.
Good.
There we go.
That's what we need.
You're all really treasures for this country. I'm
Thank
so
you.
blessed to be a patriot with you, and it's just wonderful. And you know,
Thank you.
it's wonderful to see everybody loving our country like I do. I want to have my friend Yolanda on here because I think she has something. Do you have any reservations in New Mexico? Indian
Yes.
Yeah.
reservation?
23
Yep.
of them.
Oh, okay. Because my friend Yolanda, her father's full-blooded Apache, and she goes and volunteers at the reservations and does a lot of work. And I really want her to talk about what's going on, because there's a lot of stuff she can't really talk about out loud because it's just it's something that needs to be brought out, just like you were talking about with the trafficking and stuff.
Right.
There's stuff that America needs to know about, and only certain people can really say much, because there's a lot that the government can't do when they go on the reservation. There's a lot they're not allowed to do, and a lot of children are harmed. And she helped build fences around this one church. You know, she doesn't know how to, she's a person who likes to do her nails, and she was out there building fences to protect these children so they could go to school and go to church, because their parents didn't feel like they were safe. And this is on a reservation. And that, to me, I'm like, that's
Wow.
terrible.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the reservations. We had an episode over here when they did the closure of the Navajo Nation over here, and they weren't given provisions, they weren't given the time to get water, do all kinds of things, and they just closed them up. And the sad thing is that, you know, we had to gather food and supplies as residents and as people that just wanted to help out and care, and sneak it in, literally sneak it in. I mean, Pampers for babies, just feminine products, water, you know, food supplies. It's really awful. You know, they use a bin, they call it I think there's a word. It's basically a bowl that they use as a community thing, because they don't have running water, and everybody's washing themselves with this same bowl.
In this country,
And
we
that's
should
how
all
they're
have
spreading.
running water.
Yeah, well, that's how
Exactly.
they're spreading this COVID, and how they really got hit the worst here in New Mexico and in Arizona. And you know, the problem here is that, you know, with the reservation and their president and everybody else, they don't want pipes to go through their properties to bring in the water. So it's not that they can't have it or they don't have the funding or the money. It's just a big red tape of battles between the government and the sovereign nation of the Navajo tribes and stuff. It's just crazy, but the people are the ones that are hurting.
Yeah.
It's always the people, and it's always the red tape. It's always bureaucracy. That's why, you know, I like less government, less in everything. But I think what's happening is on the reservations, I think they need our help, physical help, like go and actually help human beings. by other human beings, because a lot of people, and I know this from my own community, I come from a Black Creole family, and they're too proud to ask for help, you know. And you know, we don't have a lot of that in our family, but we see other people who take complete abuse the help, you know what I mean? There's some
Yes.
people who are too proud to ask for help, and then there's other people who just see all this help coming and they abuse it and ruin it for everybody else. So I just think that there's got to be something we can do.
Right.
Well, there's an interesting story about Ireland. During the potato famine, the Native Americans actually helped them out, and specifically the Navajo tribe. And during this time, the Ireland people of Ireland actually came together, and they gave them a big lump sum of money to help them out, to kind of say thank you for helping us out when we needed it. So, you know, a lot of those kind of things don't get thrown out there in the media, and it's really sad, because that shows what humans are really like. You know, most humans
are capable of
are,
great love.
yeah, they have compassion for their fellow humans.
Right.
Good. I'm glad you told me that, because I found out recently that I thought I was French Creole until I got my DNA back. It turns out I'm Irish Creole. I speak French.
That's another story. That's another story that we need to talk about, because they're even talking about the flu shots. They have DNA in the flu shots. So
where are they getting this DNA?
I'm not kidding you. There's actual DNA that's being put in from baby or the embryos and stuff, that they're creating these.
I don't want anything to do with abortion. Oh my God.
Yes.
No.
And we're getting DNA in our bodies that is not actually from us, but it's being detected during these tests to find out what you are and all that stuff. So you might find out that you're something that you probably are like, where the heck, what was going on there?
Mama, you got some splaining to do. I know. I was raised, you know, we speak French, but pas connais, je ne connais pas, you know, we would say things. And then now I'm finding out this Irish thing. I'm like, oh, so now it's after me, Lucky Charms. That's all I know about the Irish. That's all I know. So I'm learning. I'm trying to appreciate every drop of blood in me, like my mother told me to. You know, my mother said, you have to appreciate all of it, not just the parts that you like.
Right.
Well, that's what America is. We're a melting pot. You know, we're just a mix of all kinds of cultures and backgrounds, and we just got to embrace that and stop separating and putting labels. You know, these labels are the ones that are dividing everybody. There's
you know what I see when I look at people
and all these different things, and it's just a bunch of labels.
I see color because I'm an artist. I paint people. And people say, I don't see color. I'm like, I do. I see a little burnt sienna, a little beige. You know, I'm looking at color for sure. But I think all the colors are beautiful. That's
absolutely. I'm an artist too. In fact, the painting right behind me is something it's a tile painting that I did.
So you paint, you do acrylics or oil?
I do both.
Oh, I'm doing mostly oil, but I've been dabbling in watercolor and acrylics. But I like oil because it's more forgiving. You know, I can change my mind.
Yeah, you can go back to your painting and fix things. And
oh yeah, I can work on a painting for a month and oils and change my mind 100 times.
I'm not an artist, but I know how to make homemade tortillas still.
Oh, homemade tortillas. Me gusta mucho.
That's an art. That's definitely an art.
Yo hablo español porque tengo I have my friends taught me my Spanish, you know. And my mother told me, you should learn Spanish. We live in Texas. You should learn Spanish. And I said, well, I took Spanish and I wasn't picking it up. She goes, you don't have any Spanish speaking friends? She goes, go make a Mexican friend. So my friend Patricia sat next to me. She was in the same class for an easy A, you know. She spoke perfect Spanish. So we became really close friends. And I learned more Spanish from her and my friend Diana Lopez than anybody. I mean,
that's awesome.
It was awesome for me. And still to this day, you know, I call upon speaking, I bring communion to the sick. And so when I do that, I can do it in Spanish and English. When I was in California, there was this other lady who did the same ministry, and she was Spanish speaking. And sometimes they say, oh no, we want La Negra. They call me La Negra. We want her because I don't ask them if they've gone to confession or anything. I just bring the communion. I'm like, I ask questions. That's not my job.
Just give him the.
Yeah, I bring the communion. That's all I do. But the other lady was really strict, and if they said they wanted communion with their whole family, I break it up into like 50 different pieces, and everybody got communion.
I'm gonna have to sign out. I'm just
Okay, yeah, I gotta go too. But you guys, we're doing this again. People need to know. And if you'd like me on your show to talk about something Texan or something, we could do that too.
Sounds great.
They're trying to turn Austin, Austin's very blue. And
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's embarrassingly blue. And so we're trying to do something about that.
Okay.
First, we got to get them all off of drugs. So that might help.
Yeah. Austin's only 2.5 hours away from me. So you let me know.
Oh, you should come visit. Do you golf?
I don't.
Oh,
I like to do the driving range, everyone.
But you know what? Some of my friends who golf, like I have friends who have bad backs, so they can't do a full swing anymore. And we'll play a whole round, but they don't do the whole thing. They just wait till we get to the greens and putt.
Yeah,
and drink beer.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again, Kathy. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And I want all of your names. Could you send me their names so I could put it on my credit?
Absolutely.
That would be good. And then also for you, Mr. Garrett, I'd like to help you out in any way I can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think I lost the video. But I will definitely send you all the information that I have, and I'll be in touch.
Okay,
right.
kathysright.com, and then kathysright@gmail.com is one, and then also there's a whole bunch, but I'll send it to you too.
Can you
please get me that information if he's unable to reach me, Melinda?
I sure can. I will.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay.
God bless you all. Bye.
Bye. Good meeting you.
Thank you
Nice
all.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.